Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Chloe and Leo show. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Leo. And Chloe, I have to ask, why do you smell like a forest of eucalyptus and regret?
That's not regret, Leo. That's inner peace mixed with a little bit of sweat. I just came from a hot yoga class.
Ah. So you paid someone to make you sweat in a heated room while wearing stretchy pants. That's not exercise, Chloe. That's a sauna with extra steps.
You say that now. But today, Leo, we are talking about yoga. And I have a feeling that by the end of this episode, you'll be rolling out a mat in your living room.
My living room currently has a coffee table and a gaming console. The only downward dog I know is when my actual dog, Nugget, wants a snack.
That's the spirit. No, seriously. Yoga is one of the fastest growing trends in the world. But it's also one of the most misunderstood. Some people think it's just flexible people twisting into pretzels. Others think it's a religion. And some guys, you think it's just stretching?
Wait, isn't it just stretching?
Leo, we have work to do.
Okay, fine. But before we go full guru mode, what's the game today?
Today, we're doing yoga confessions. I'm going to tell you the story of how I went from a clumsy, stressed out college student to someone who can actually touch her toes. And you're going to try to understand why yoga isn't just for hippies or Instagram models.
Deal. But if you ask me to say Namaste in a serious voice, I'm leaving.
Noted. Let's roll out our imaginary mats and go.
So, give me the truth. When did you first try yoga? And please tell me you fell over.
Oh, I absolutely fell over. I was a sophomore in college, finals week. I was surviving on energy drinks and instant noodles. My roommate Sarah was this beautiful, calm person. She did yoga every morning at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.? That's not a person. That's a mythical creature.
Right? But I was desperate. I had this huge knot in my shoulder from hunching over my laptop. I couldn't sleep. I was grumpy. So Sarah said, "Chloe, just come to one class. It's free for students."
And you went?
I went, wearing old sweatpants and a t-shirt that said "I heart pizza." I didn't own a yoga mat, so I used a thin bath towel.
Professional gear. I love it.
We get to this big room, lots of candles, soft music. The teacher had a voice like melted butter. I thought, okay, this is fine, I can do this.
Famous last words.
She starts with child's pose. That's where you kneel and fold forward. Easy. I thought, wow, I'm a natural.
Then what?
Then she said, now come into downward facing dog.
The dog thing.
So you put your hands and feet on the floor, lift your hips up, and make an upside down V shape. Sounds simple, right?
Sounds like geometry.
I lifted my hips. My bath towel started sliding on the wooden floor. My hands slipped. I made a sound like a dying walrus. And I landed flat on my face.
No! Did anyone see?
Everyone. The entire room. Sarah was trying not to laugh. The teacher just smiled and said, "That's one way to find your edge, Chloe."
Find your edge? That's yoga speak for you look ridiculous, isn't it?
Probably. But here's the thing, Leo. I didn't leave. I was so embarrassed. My face was red, my pizza shirt was twisted, but for the next 5 minutes, I just tried again.
Why? I would have walked out and never looked back.
Because after the fall, the teacher came over and adjusted my hands. She said, "It's not about being perfect. It's about being present." And then she had us do a breathing exercise.
Breathing? I breathe all day. It's automatic.
No. This was different. We did Ujjayi breath. It sounds like the ocean. You constrict the back of your throat a little. Hear that?
That sounds like Darth Vader with a cold.
Exactly. But weirdly, It calmed me down. For the first time in weeks, my brain stopped racing. I wasn't thinking about exams or money or what I was going to eat. I was just breathing.
Okay, so you didn't become a pretzel. You became a Darth Vader breather.
That's the secret, Leo. People think yoga is about touching your toes, but it's really about what you learn on the way down. Anyway, I kept going, and that's when the magic started.
I'm listening, but I reserve the right to be sarcastic.
So let me ask you, Leo. When you think of a yoga person, what do you see?
Okay. A thin white woman in Lululemon leggings. She's drinking green juice. She has a wooden mat. She posts sunsets on Instagram with the caption, "Blessed."
That's the stereotype. But guess what? In India, where yoga comes from, it was mostly men, old men. And they didn't wear fancy leggings. They wore basically loincloths.
Loincloths? Okay, now I'm less interested.
Focus. The word yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to yoke or to unite. It's about connecting your mind, body, and breath. The poses or asanas were originally designed to help monks sit still for hours of meditation.
So it's a tool, like a hammer for the mind.
Exactly. And here's a story that changed my mind forever. My aunt, Aunt Maria, she's 67 years old. She has arthritis in her knees. She can't run. She can't even go upstairs easily.
So yoga is out, right?
Wrong. She started chair yoga. That's yoga you do sitting on a chair. She does gentle twists, lifts her arms, breathes deeply. And after 6 months, she stopped needing painkillers for her back.
Wait, really? A chair?
Really? Because yoga isn't about the shape, it's about the intention. For Aunt Maria, the victory wasn't doing a headstand. It was raising her arms over her head without crying.
Okay, that's actually kind of beautiful.
See? You have a heart.
Don't tell anyone, but I'm still skeptical. How does breathing fix a bad back?
Science, my friend. There's real research. When you do deep, slow breathing, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest mode. Your heart rate slows. Your blood pressure drops. Stress hormones like cortisol go down.
So it's like a natural chill pill.
Yes, and the poses? They build functional strength. Not big muscles for the beach, but small, stabilizer muscles around your spine and joints. That's why people with chronic pain often improve.
But what about the guy who works construction? Or the accountant who sits in a chair for 10 hours? Can they both do the same yoga?
Great question. No, that's another huge myth. There is no one-size-fits-all yoga. Let me tell you about my friend Marco.
Marco?
Marco is a bodybuilder. Huge arms. He can deadlift 300 pounds. But he came to me once and said, "Chloe, I can't touch my toes."
The mighty Marco?
The mightiest. So I showed him one pose, standing forward fold. He bent down. His hands were 6 inches from the floor. His face turned purple.
No.
Yes. And he said, "This is harder than the gym, because in the gym, you're contracting muscles. In yoga, you're lengthening them. It's a different kind of work."
So Marco, the bodybuilder, was humbled by a forward fold.
Completely. And now he does 10 minutes of yoga after every workout. He says his shoulders feel less like concrete.
Okay, you're winning me over. But what about the spiritual stuff? The chanting? The I'm not trying to join a cult, Chloe.
Fair. And you don't have to. In the West, we mostly practice hatha yoga, the physical side. You can totally ignore the chanting and just stretch. But let me tell you a quick story about the Om.
Oh no.
It's funny. Last year, I was at a retreat. A big guy named Dave, ex-military, very tough, said he hated the Om. He said it was weird. But the teacher said, "Dave, just try it once. Pretend you're starting a lawnmower."
A lawnmower?
So Dave closed his eyes. He took a deep breath, and he went, "Oh," like he was revving an engine. The whole room burst out laughing, and Dave started laughing too. And that moment, that shared, silly, human moment, was the real Om.
So the Om is just community laughter?
Sometimes, yeah. Or it's just a vibration that feels good in your chest. You don't have to believe in anything. You just have to be willing to feel a little silly.
Fine. I might try the Om, but only if no one is watching.
Actually, Leo, I have a surprise.
I don't like that tone.
I brought 2 yoga mats, and we have 5 minutes. I want you to try 3 poses. Right here, right now.
Chloe, no, we're podcasters. We use our voices, not our hamstrings.
Come on, for the audience. Let's do yoga for skeptics. And I promise no embarrassing sounds.
If I hear one namaste, I'm unplugging the mic.
Deal. Okay. First pose. Mountain pose. Just stand up straight.
Okay, I'm standing. Revolutionary.
Feet hip-width apart. Arms by your sides. Close your eyes.
My eyes are open.
Leo, close your eyes.
Fine. Eyes closed.
Now, feel your feet on the floor. Notice your breath. Don't change it. Just notice. Is your chest tight? Are your shoulders up by your ears?
My shoulders are tense.
Exactly. You didn't know that until you stopped moving. That's yoga. Now, roll your shoulders back and down. Imagine a string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling.
Okay. That feels not terrible.
Good. Now, second pose, cat-cow. Put your hands and knees on the mat.
On the floor? My knees are 34 years old.
You'll survive. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips.
I'm on the floor. This feels undignified.
Now inhale. Drop your belly down. Lift your chest and tailbone up. That's cow pose. Look gently up.
I look like a camel with a back problem.
Perfect. Now exhale. Round your spine toward the ceiling. Tuck your chin. That's cat pose.
Oh wow.
What? What do you feel?
My lower back, it's cracking. In a good way. Like when you crack your knuckles, but bigger.
That's spinal fluid moving. Do it again. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Slow.
Okay, that actually feels nice. My back has been hurting from sitting in this podcast chair.
See? Yoga is practical. Last pose. Downward dog. The one I fell on my face doing.
The revenge of the dog.
From your hands and knees, tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Try to straighten your legs, but don't force it. Make an upside down V.
My hamstrings are screaming.
Bend your knees a little. Imagine your hips are a bucket of water. Pour the water backward.
Okay, that's less screaming. More whispering.
Now, pedal your feet. One heel down, then the other. Like you're stepping on grapes?
I'm stepping on invisible grapes.
How do you feel? Honest.
I feel taller, and my head is quiet. Like, for the first time today, I'm not thinking about my to-do list.
That's the yoga, Leo.
Okay, fine, you win. That was not awful.
Yes, the skeptic has been converted.
I said not awful. I didn't say I'm buying crystals. Okay, so let's say I want to try this again. What are the mistakes new people make? Because I'm guessing falling on your face is common.
Very common. Here are the top 3. Number 1, comparing yourself to others.
Oh, the Instagram trap.
Yes, you see someone folding themselves into a human knot. You think, I should be able to do that. And then you hurt yourself. Real yoga teachers say, where you are is exactly where you need to be.
That sounds nice, but my ego wants to be a knot.
I know. Here's a story. My second year of yoga, I tried to force myself into king pigeon pose. It's a deep back bend. I pushed and pushed, and then pop.
Pop?
My hip made a sound like a cork coming out of a wine bottle. I couldn't walk properly for a week.
So you injured yourself?
Yes, because I was chasing a shape, not a feeling. That's mistake number 2. No breathing.
Wait, people forget to breathe?
All the time. When a pose is hard, people hold their breath. Their face turns red. They clench their jaw. That's the opposite of yoga. The rule is, if you can't breathe, you've gone too far.
So breathing is the boss.
Breathing is the boss. Mistake number 3, skipping the warm-up. You can't just wake up and do a split. You have to warm up the joints. That's why most classes start with cat-cow or gentle twists.
Like warming up a car before you drive.
Exactly. And the funniest mistake? Farting.
What?
It's true. In yoga, there's a pose called wind-relieving pose. You lie on your back and pull your knees to your chest. And sometimes the body releases gas. It's normal. It's natural. But in a quiet room, it's hilarious.
I would simply never return to that studio.
I have a friend, Jenny, who farted loudly during happy baby pose. She wanted to die. But the teacher just said, "That's your body saying thank you."
Saying thank you. I can't. Okay, new rule. I only do yoga alone, at home, with no one around.
That's actually perfect, because you don't need a studio. You need 5 minutes and a floor.
Okay, real talk. For the listener who is, like me, stiff, skeptical, and busy, how do we start?
I'm so glad you asked. Here's my Yoga for Real People starter pack.
No expensive gear?
None. You don't need Lululemon. Wear shorts and a t-shirt. You don't need a fancy mat. A rug or a towel on carpet works fine.
Good. My wallet. Thanks you.
Step 1. Do 3 minutes in the morning, not 30. 3.
I can do 3 minutes.
Stand up. Stretch your arms up. Fold forward. Roll your shoulders. Breathe 3 deep breaths. That's it. That's yoga.
That's so simple, it almost feels like cheating.
That's the secret. Consistency beats intensity. A little bit every day changes your body more than one intense hour a month.
Okay. Step 2?
Step 2. Use YouTube. There are thousands of free videos. Search yoga for beginners or yoga for back pain or yoga for gamers.
Yoga for gamers? Is that just wrist stretches?
Actually, yes. And neck stretches for looking down at screens. It's very practical.
I'll allow it.
Step 3. Forget perfection. You might not touch your toes for 6 months. That's fine. Bend your knees. Use a block or a thick book under your hands.
So cheating is allowed.
It's not cheating. It's adapting. There's a famous yoga teacher named BKS Iyengar. He used ropes, blankets, and blocks to help people with injuries. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for us.
Ropes? That sounds like a pirate workout.
It does, but it works. Here's the last tip. Find a why. Don't do yoga because you want a flat stomach. Do it because you want to play with your kids without back pain. Or because you want to sleep better. Or because you want to feel less angry in traffic.
Less angry in traffic? That's a good one.
For me, my why is my anxiety. When I feel a panic attack coming, I do 1 minute of deep breathing and a shoulder roll. It's like a reset button.
So it's a tool like a hammer for the mind. I said that earlier.
You did, and you were right.
But Chloe, we can't ignore that some people take yoga very seriously, like spiritually. What's your take?
I think that's beautiful. If you want to explore the 8 limbs of yoga, which include ethics, meditation, and enlightenment, that's amazing. But it's not required.
8 limbs? Like an octopus?
Kind of. The first limb is yama, how you treat others. Don't lie, don't steal, be kind. The second is niyama, how you treat yourself. Be clean, be content, self-study.
So, don't be a jerk. That's not revolutionary.
But how often do we forget? The third limb is the poses. Fourth is breathing. Fifth is turning your senses inward. Sixth is focus. Seventh is meditation. Eighth is samadhi bliss, or oneness.
Bliss. That's a big word.
Here's my story about bliss. Last year, I was at the beach at sunrise. I did a few sun salutations in the sand. The waves were crashing, the sky was pink. And for maybe 10 seconds, I felt completely connected. Like I was part of everything.
That sounds like a good Instagram caption.
It does, but it was real. And that's the yoga. You don't have to chase enlightenment. Just chase small moments of, oh, this feels nice.
I think I had a moment like that last week. I was walking Nugget, my dog. The sun was setting. I stopped rushing. I just looked at the sky and I felt calm.
Leo, that was yoga.
That was yoga? Just looking at the sky?
Being present, breathing, not rushing, that's the whole point. The poses are just training wheels for the mind.
Huh.
So, Leo, final verdict. Is yoga just stretching?
No. Fine. You win. Yoga is not just stretching. It's breathing and moving and not being an idiot about your body.
That's going on a t-shirt. Yoga, not being an idiot about your body.
Seriously though, I might try it. 3 minutes. Tomorrow morning.
And when you do, I want you to remember one thing. It doesn't matter how deep you go into a pose. What matters is how you come out of it.
That's actually profound. Did you make that up?
I read it on a yoga meme, but it's true.
Of course you did.
Okay, listeners, here's your challenge. This week, try 1 minute of conscious breathing. Sit or stand. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Just 1 minute. And then come back and tell us how you felt.
Tag us on social. Or don't. Just be kind to your spine.
And remember, yoga is for every body. Not just the flexible, not just the young, not just the people who own candles.
Although candles are nice.
Candles are very nice. All right, that's our show. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who says, I'm not flexible enough for yoga.
Because that's like saying, I'm too dirty for a shower.
Exactly. Thank you for listening to the Chloe and Leo Show.
Namaste. I can't believe I said that.
I'm saving that audio forever. Stay curious, stay clumsy, and keep breathing.